You're listening to Boss Builds, the show on Build Up where we turn stat blocks into character sheets so that you can be the boss at your D&D table. Be sure to watch the video all the way through, comment down below on how you would make today's build, and like and subscribe to keep your feed bossed up. Let's dive straight into the video. So we'll start as always by looking at the creature stat block. So as you can see, it has a natural armor class of 15, hit points of 22, and a 30-foot walking speed. For ability scores, it has a 15 in strength, a 10 in dexterity, a 12 in constitution, a 13 in intelligence, a wisdom of 14, and a charisma score of 18. It has +6 in persuasion. It has resistance to radiant damage and immunity to poison damage. It has condition immunities to charmed, frightened, and poisoned. It has passive perception of 12, and it speaks common in Sylvan. And as far as abilities go, it has hide in plain sight, where it has advantage on dexterity checks made to hide while it is in the grassland, and it has the ability to cast spells. Spells it can cast, it uses charisma modifier, and it can cast cure wounds, charm person, and sleep 3 times a day. And then once a day, it can cast Calm Emotions, Lesser Restoration, and Plant Growth. And it also has magical resistance, where it basically has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. And as far as actions go, all it has is 2 radiant attacks, or radiant touches, which are melee spell attacks. Both of them are +6 to hit, reaching 5 feet to one target, and it does 9 damage when it connects. So as you can see, this build is a spellcaster primarily using its charisma modifier. So that's what we're going to be building around. So let's go ahead and get into the build. As you can see, I'm naming the character and using the picture as usual. Make sure you check off all the preferences so you can have all the options. And for the race, I'm going to go ahead and choose Fairy. And for Fairy Magic, we're going to choose Charisma as our spellcasting ability. For our background, you can choose whatever language you want. For background, I chose Charlatan because it fits the vibe. Make sure you chose Sylvan for the language. And for my ability scores, I went ahead with point buy, and I did 14 in strength, 8 in dexterity, 10 in constitution, 12 in intelligence, 13 in wisdom, and 15 in charisma, and then dump all of your ability score increases into charisma. So at level 1, we can start off with an 18 in our spellcasting modifier, which is going to feel really good for us. And for our class, I went ahead and chose Bard, and for our proficiencies, I went for Persuasion, Perception, and Insights. So as you can see, we're already kind of getting that Bard feel going, that charismatic feel, and our charisma is 18, so our spells are going to already be doing a lot in terms of spell saves, and they're going to be putting in a lot of work early on. We get spell casting from the Bard spell list, and we get Bardic Inspiration, where it tells us that you can give creatures a d6 to add to an ability check, a saving throw, or an attack roll, or to their magical damage. So it's going to be really good. Jack of all trades, we get half the proficiency to any skill you're not proficient in, and then Song of Rest gives your allies 1d6 of healing during a short rest. So that's going to be good. At 3rd level, we choose our Bardic College, and I chose College of Glamour, and we get expertise and skills, so I chose Perception and Persuasion, and we get Mantle Inspiration, which gives creatures that we choose 5 extra temporary hit points and a chance to move for the reaction. And then we get Enthralling Performance, which allows us to charm creatures for a minute. At level 4, we get an ability score improvement, so go ahead and cap off your charisma before level 5, which is going to be really good. At level 5, you get Font of Inspiration, which basically allows us to regain Bardic Inspiration die after any type of rest. At level 6, we get Counter Charm, where we can give us and any of our allies advantage on Charmed or Frightened saving throws. And we get Mantle of Mastery, which allows us to cast Command as a bonus action without having to cast a spell slot, which is good. For level 8, we get another ability score improvement, so we can level off our dexterity, so we don't have to get any penalties for it being a -8. At level 9, we just get more spells. We'll talk about spells later on. Level 10, we get expertise again, so we get insight and deception, so that'll be good. And then for our magical secrets, I chose Wither and Bloom in Animal Friendship, just because I felt like those two spells can kind of add to the typical bard persona and the persona that this particular monster is giving off. So that's going to be good. At level 11, we get more spells, and at level 12, we get a ability score improvement or a feat. I chose the Resilient Wisdom feat, so we can add 1 to our wisdom, leveling it off, and get proficiency in wisdom saving throws. Level 13, we get more spells, and at level 14, we get more magical secrets. I went for Tasha's Otherworldly Guise and Bane. Bane is a good debuff, and Tasha's Otherworldly Guise is a good transformation. It gives us +2 our AC, and it gives us flying speed, which is going to be good. We also get Unbreakable Mastery, where we force the opponent to make a charisma saving throw, and if they fail, they can't attack you, and if they succeed, they have disadvantage on spells that you cast against them. Level 15, we get more spells, and at level 16, we can increase our constitution to improve our survivability. At level 17, we go ahead and get more spells, and at level 18, we get magical secrets again, and I chose Shield and Shield of Faith, which are going to bump our armor class by 5 with Shield and by 2 with Shield of Faith. So once again, increasing our armor class, that's going to feel really good since it's going to be low. At 19, we get our final ability score improvement or feat, and I went ahead for the tough feat, which is going to give us extra HP depending on our level, which is going to be really good. And then finally, we get superior inspiration, which allows us to gain 1 superiority die if we start initiative and we don't have any. So when we jump into the analysis of the build, we can see off the bat that we have a bad dexterity score, which is going to hinder us in terms of armor class. So that's going to be something to think about, but we started with armor, so you can go ahead and pick that. Our saving throws are pretty decent. We have a dexterity, a good dexterity saving throw since we're proficient in it, and we have a good wisdom saving throw, which is good because that's a common saving throw and they're very dangerous to fail. And we have a good charisma saving throw, so that's going to be good too. Thanks to Jack of all trades, every single one of our skills has at least a little bit of bonus to it, so that's going to be good. As far as actions go, we have lots of spells that we can cast, and we have counter charm. Like I said, don't really have to worry about unarmed strikes. For bonus action, we have we have nice little niche features. We're basically supporting our party, so we have Bardic Inspiration, Mantle of Inspiration, things like that. The name of this game is really support role, so that's really what we're going to be focusing on. We have reaction as in form of shield and things like that. Just overall, just being able to control the enemy, healing them, and things like that. So as for the spells that you're picking, you want to basically pick up all the spells right here: Friends, Light, Message, Prestidigitation, Sleep, Calm Emotions, Lesser Restoration, Suggestion, Zone of Truth, Fast Friends, Motivational Speech, Charm Monster, Greater Invisibility, Dream, Mass Cure Wounds, Mass Suggestion, Regenerate, Resurrection, Dominate Monster, and Power Word Heal. So I have a timestamp to this point in the video if you want to just look at the spells you want to be picking up while you're making the character. But those are the spells that I chose. As you can see, some of them are what the creature already had, and some of them I just chose because I felt like it was building on to the vibe that it gave me. So all those spells are going to be useful too when it comes to supporting your enemy or supporting your allies and healing them as well. So in conclusion, I think this build is a very interesting build. The Alseid is a monster that doesn't necessarily rely too much on close quarters combat and martial prowess that other classes thrive in, so don't let that deter you. I think this is a very good support build. Bard as a whole is a very good support class, and you're going to be basically relying on your bardic inspiration and things like that to be able to buff your allies. You have spells that are going to help you control your enemy, like command and charm and things like that. The Magistry ability, which lets you cast command without expending a spell slot, is going to be really, really good. You're going to be able to be controlling your enemy, basically being able to make sure that they are where you want them to be, so that when it comes time for your opponent to interact with the enemy, you're basically giving them the best foot forward for them. We also have access to the spell Sleep, which is another good command. It has the potential to end encounters early, just because of how strong it is. You just put your enemies to sleep and then, do what you want to do with them. We also have good healing spells, which are going to allow us to give our allies more support in terms of HP. So, in conclusion, this is a really good build. I definitely would recommend it. And yeah, that's the build for today. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.